I'm Jennifer Mertland, and I am here with Chris Jones from Gorilla Realty. Hey, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Thank you for being on. So I want to give the people some context before we dive in. So I'm running for the Cincinnati MLS, or we call it the Greater Alliance.
Yeah.
No, the Realtor Alliance of Greater Cincinnati. It's the Cincy MLS. I'm running for the board. And part of the thing that I believe in, and I noticed about real estate agents, is they don't have a business background. They don't
Yeah.
necessarily understand how to run a business. And you and I are in alignment on this. And from your Gorilla Realty, you've created like a lot of tools and systems that help agents grow their business and fast. And one of my favorite tools that you created was the Pipeline Pro tools. Love
Right.
it.
Cool.
But
Glad it's worked out for you.
yeah, I love it. But I wanted to bring you on because you know how to run businesses. You are a real estate agent. You run a real estate business too. And I wanted to take the word growth and make it like an acronym and
Right.
say, okay, let's start there with some simple business terms and relate it to our real estate business. Sound good?
Yeah, absolutely. I literally cannot wait for this. I've been looking forward to it all week. So yeah, let's go for it.
Awesome. So G, let's say G stands for gross versus net. Why as real estate agents do we need to know that, and what does it mean?
Gross versus net. So you don't need an accounting course to understand gross versus net, right?
Right.
So, most agents think about GCI, gross commission income, right?
Mhm.
What they should be thinking about is their net commissions, right?
Right.
So we actually have, we have a resource we call Nerd Sheets. It's got two really important tools that I'll recommend. And Nerd Sheets is a free app that we've built. It's a briefcase of all of our favorite real estate calculators. It's everything from market forecasting calculators to how to calculate accurate days on market using the absorption rate. But there's two resources I want to direct agents to. So the number one is our reverse engineer calculator, where you plug in your income goal and not your gross income goal,
Right.
but your net income goal. You plug it in, and it's going to literally reverse engineer, knowing what it knows about your market. It's going to reverse engineer and help you figure out what you need to do. Like, what are the daily action steps you need to take in order to go hit that goal? Net income, right? The other resource that I want to talk about, and I might rant for just a minute. Is that okay?
That's fine. It's
So,
common. I know you.
yeah. So the other resource I want to direct agents to is another free app that we built called Split Crunch. So it's easy to find. I assume there'll be a link for this somewhere, but it's
Yeah.
easy to find. It's splitcrunch.com, and it's exactly what it sounds like. So the world of agent splits is full of vague, hand
Confusion.
wavy nonsense.
Yes.
It's a shell game, right? And so many times I do a lot of personal one-on-one coaching, just like donating my time. And invariably, when I do that, I find out that this agent is like, "Oh, I work for a 100% company." I was like, "Okay, let's figure it out." So I go to Split Crunch and I plug in the numbers. And once you count out transaction fees and doc fees and virtual office fees and website fees, and once you figure it all out, first of all, they never hit 100% in their life, right? Plus, when you subtract out all the fees, oftentimes I'm talking to agents that are making 60% or less. That's what they're keeping, 60% or less of their commissions.
Yeah.
And so one of the, when I'm just personally coaching, I say, look, there's all kinds of reasons why you would be with a brokerage that pays, a little less or takes a little more, right? Maybe they're giving you more resources. Maybe they're giving you more support. Maybe they're giving you more, something you can rely on in terms of contract. Maybe you're new and you need someone who just knows contract law inside and out, so you can rely on them, right? So maybe it's worth it, okay? But I'll tell you this, I don't care if you just got your license 5 minutes ago, all right? There's no reason in the year 2022 that you should be paying more than 20% to your brokerage, period. Right? Just period. The easiest way for most agents who are listening to this right now to get a raise, to grow their business, is do everything that they're doing exactly the same way, but just get paid more. Just do it somewhere else.
Right. Well, I want to make sure that we tap in. I want to pull out three key things. So gross versus net, revenue versus profit. Gross and revenue are top line. This is the commission that you are bringing in before everything. Then you take out what you have to share, you take out your expenses, you take out everything. The bottom number is the net or the profit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Ain't
And
that
that's
make
what you're living
sense?
on. Yeah.
Yes. So nerd sheets will say, okay, most agents say, well, I want to make six figures. That's like what they always say, right?
Yeah.
But when
Since
they
the 80s,
say
by the way,
that,
and they haven't even adjusted for inflation since the 80s, I think.
exactly. Anyway, so they want it. That's like a whole nother
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
So when they say that, they are thinking net, but they calculate it based on gross, which is a
Right.
higher number.
Right.
So nerd sheets will help you, the agent, calculate it on net because that's what you're really wanting. You're wanting take
Yeah.
home your
Yeah.
six figures,
So
whatever it is.
going back to that first resource I pointed them to, the reverse engineer calculators. You log into Nerd Sheets. It's a briefcase of all the calculators you could ever need to run your business. Okay. Look for the one that's called reverse engineer, right? That's the
Okay.
first one I want you to check out. And at the very top, it's going to ask you to put in something that we call your TMI. And this isn't like, when your Aunt Sally's talking about her bunions. This is not too much information. It's target monthly income.
Gotcha.
Right. And target monthly income, we're talking about net, right? And so many agents they're just addicted to like the next milestone, 100,000, six figures or 250K or $500,000, whatever it is. We're stuck on these milestones when really you should go figure out what would it cost to live your dream lifestyle, right? Sit down with your spouse if you're married, right? Or you have a significant other, sit down with your significant other and figure out what do we dream about? What is it? Where do we want to be a year from now? And what kind of monthly cash flow do we want to be coming from this real estate business? And that's the number that you plug in there. Right?
Yeah, got it.
So you plug that in, and then it's going to help you, figure out what you need to do to get there. But then split crunch, because one of the things that ask you for in the reverse engineer calculator is your effective net or your effective company split. Right? And most companies or most agents think, oh, my companies, they advertise that they're a 90% company or a 100% company. So I'm just going to put 100. No. You have to go to Split Crunch and do the hard work to figure out what am I paying in transaction fees? What am I paying in any monthly fees? What is my starting split? When do I cap? It's a shell game. And so, it isn't easy, but
you have
Split
to
Crunch,
compare apples to apples.
Yes. And so Split Crunch makes it easy. It asks you it's like a little quiz, asks you a series of questions. Then you tell it how many transactions you plan to do, or what your goal is and what your median sale price is in your market. And it will literally build a leaderboard and show you not only where your company ranks, so whoever you work for, where it ranks. And by the way, if you don't work for a franchise, we've got a lot of franchise presets in there, but you can build your own, independent company profile from scratch too. It's super easy. Okay. But it'll build a leaderboard and it'll say, this is the top company. This is what you would be making net if you worked for this company. This is what you would be making if you worked for this company, and so on and so. And then it shows you where you actually are. And this is where agents get, gobsmacked. It's like, oh, so I'm ranked 70 out of 100 companies.
Yeah.
I'm 70th. Like, that sucks. And they realize they're making 50% or 60% net. And
instead of what they thought.
Yeah, in fact, instead of what they thought. And so I recommend go get yourself a raise.
Well, when you pay attention to your money and your business, it grows, right? So let's move on to R. So R stands for ROI. What is this and why do we care?
All right. ROI, return on investment, right? So this is important for every agent, right? Especially for new agents, right? So ROI, return on investment. Are you getting back a positive return for the money and the time that you're in investing? Okay, so we have another free resource, go figure, right? And you can also find this one at Nerd Sheets. Remember,
this is why I love all your guys' stuff, because it's all these things and it's all for free. Like,
yeah. So what we do is like we build assets for ourselves to help us run our own business, to be a dashboard for what we should do, and to help us forecast the market. And then once we built the asset for ourselves, we're like, well, gosh, I guess we should share it with others too, right? And so then we turn it into something that's shareable, right? So Nerd Sheets is the briefcase that's got all these calculators in it. So you log into Nerd Sheets one time. It's 100% free. Just enter your email address. It's super easy. And if you hate
nerdsheets.com.
Yep. And if you hate our emails, you can unsubscribe one click. Okay. But then get the calculator that's called the Marketing Evaluator calculator. Okay. So here's what I see a lot of in the agent world, right? So some agents, the ballers, the ballers, they're going to buy in Zillow leads. Okay,
Oh,
you pretty much have to be independently wealthy or have a massive credit card to buy leads from
right,
Zillow anyway, right?
right.
So if you come into the business and you start buying Zillow leads, well then you must be very wealthy, okay? Because it's like $1,000 per month per zip code or more, and and that's in my market, and it's not a big market. Okay, so it's super expensive, and to get the leads that most agents would need, you're going to have to buy a minimum of like 3 or 4 zip codes. So you're talking like big money.
A lot of money. Yeah.
Yep. And then there's usually a long-term contract, so you're pretty much stuck on it. It ends up being like a $10,000 or $20,000 investment. It's crazy. It's nuts, especially for a new agent.
Well, for anybody, the return on investment.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people say, "Well, if I get one sale, then it's paid for itself." Explain to explain to me why that is not a good return on investment.
Okay. So all you did was you took money out of your client's pocket
Hmm.
and you took it directly and put it into Zillow's pocket.
Right. Or
Right.
whatever.
So let's all be clear about something. Break even is not
It's
the
not.
goal. Okay.
No.
And in fact, and I'm going to get a lot of outraged emails for this, but I believe that your marketing, your customer acquisition cost per transaction should be less than 10%, period. Now,
Okay.
I'll allow it to be up to 20%. I think you can run a thriving real estate practice on up to 20%. Okay.
Hmm.
But there's no reason in 2022, if you're paying attention, why you can't keep customer acquisition costs down to 10%. Because you've used these tools, you've used Pipeline Pro tools to get leads, and you were running free playbooks, running free ads.
Right.
And now here's the thing, here's the caveat. Just because you're running free ads or doing something that's free doesn't mean that. So the marketing evaluator calculator, right? So basically it's going to tell you whether it's a good marketing idea or a bad marketing idea, right? All you have to do is plug in your variables, and then it'll straight up tell you this is going to, you should keep doing this or you should
So
cut
if
it.
I'm thinking of investing in some kind of lead source, right? Like I'm hearing right now, a lot of people are like, well, they will like make calls for you. And then, oh my God. Okay. So let's say that costs $1,000 a month or whatever. So I put it into this marketing evaluator and it'll tell me like if it's a good investment or not.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think it's important for people to hold their marketing dollars accountable, right? Don't just spend money to spend money because you're taking it out of your Disney fund or whatever, right?
Well, also, the reason why you want your marketing budget or your customer acquisition costs, so how much it costs for you to acquire a new client that's going to pay you a commission, right?
Right.
The reason why you want to keep that at a target level at 10, I recommend 10%. If you want to be 20%, be my guest.
Or lower.
It's still possible. Okay, that's like an absolute worst case scenario. You're at 20%.
Yeah.
If you go above that, it's not scalable. So the reason why these numbers matter is that you can't scale advertising that is going to cost you more than 20% because there's other costs involved in your business too,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So marketing isn't the only one, right? So here's the thing. Let's just evaluate like a typical idea, and let's go with something that realtors traditionally think of as free.
Okay.
How about open houses?
Okay.
Okay, most realtors. I mean, like I love the basic idea of running an open house. All right, so usually you're borrowing the listing from someone else who says, "Hey, I'll run an open house for you." Right? This is supposedly a free idea, right? It's not going to cost you anything, right? Wrong. Well, so first of all, it does cost you something because usually you're not going to run an open house without doing like the signs and the streamers and you got to have like the little dry.
You should also like make calls and door knock and do all the things.
So we're talking about actual like monetary expenses first, but you're buying like cookies and veggie trays and whatever stupid crap you're doing for the open house. And look, I got no problem with open houses. Okay, I've cone of safety here. Don't slay me, but I've done open houses. Okay. So, and I even got a client from one, right? So you do all this, all right? And let's say it costs you, I don't know, $300. You got to put it in. So most people are like, oh, that's, it's such a small marketing expense, just move on, right? No, so you put it in, right? But there's something we've missed out on, okay? You got to figure out what is the time cost of putting on this open house, right? So your time, I don't care if you're dead broke, right? Now, if you are dead broke, your time isn't worth as much, but it is worth something. All right.
Yeah.
Generally, the calculation that I like to use is, what do you want to make this year?
Mm-hmm.
Divided by 2,000, because that's how many hours you're going to work this year, right? 50 weeks times 40 hours a week, it's 2,000. Whew, glad I did that math in my head. Okay. Scared me for just a minute, right? So divide by 2,000, that's what your time is worth per hour.
Okay.
Right. So if you want to make $100,000 divided by 2,000, $50 an hour.
$50, right.
Right. And that's if you only want to make six figures.
Yeah. And if you're only taking 2 weeks off and if you're working 40 hours each week. So that's like a whole nother can of worms, right? Because when I do this calculator, I'm seeing between 300 and 400 an hour. And that's like, okay, well, what? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm talking about like, this is like the bare minimum agent. Every other agent that actually goes and does these calculations for themselves, their time's gonna end up being worth a lot more, right?
Right.
So you plug in into the calculator, this marketing evaluator tool. You're gonna go and plug in how many hours, how many man hours you put into putting this open house on, right? And it's gonna run the calculations for you, so you don't have to be a geek. Okay, it's gonna do all the number crunching, right? It's gonna do all the crunching for you, and it's gonna tell you, oh, the last thing you have to do is, how many clients did you generate from it? How many leads, right? So we talk about leads. A lead is a name and a phone number of somebody that statistically is going to be under contract in about 105 days. It's just a statistical model that we use. That when somebody enters the search phase of the buying cycle, which is when they start looking at specific properties, they're roughly 105 days away from closing. Okay. Or from being under contract, I should say. Closing, something like that. Something like that. Okay?
That's a whole nother animal.
So that's how we define a lead. So you put in how many leads you generated, and then the evaluator is just going to tell you straight up. And I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, the open house, bad idea. Okay. Really? 9 times, I challenge anybody to who runs open house on a regular basis, go and run the numbers and see if it's really your best.
I will fight with you on this, and here's why. I believe your math is correct. But I think that what you're talking about is the way that many agents do an open house. And I would suggest if you did open houses, we call them like the 7-level open houses. So if you did it right.
Is this like GSD style?
What's that?
GSD? Oh, never mind. A whole nother thing. Sorry, sidetrack you. Keep going. Yeah.
Where if you actually do it right, not just like, well, I'm going to hold an open house today, and you put it in one place.
And you got the Chips Ahoy and the veggie tray.
Right. And then I think that it would be a better idea because you would generate more leads. But if you're not generating the leads, then yes, of course it's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's why I said 9 times out of 10, because I've seen people who run the calculator and they're like, I got 8 leads from this, right? And it was only 6 hours of my time, and it did cost me, $400 in like signs and marketing materials and all that stuff. But then you divide the $400 plus whatever the time, 6 times 50 is 300. Gosh, I really shouldn't do math in public, but that's $700 divided by 8 leads. We're spending less than $100 per lead, right? That could be, depending on your market, because you have to put in the other stuff too. Right. A lead in San Francisco is worth a lot more than a lead in North Carolina.
Right. So
period. Right. So you've got to figure that out. So that's all in the calculator to crunch the numbers for you. But you should be running every marketing idea that you do, even if it's something that you do not thinking about it. If it's a marketing activity, you should run it through the marketing evaluator, and you should figure out, is this an idea worth keeping?
Here's what I'm hoping that people learn. We both have a passion about running your real estate business like a business, because it is a business, right? Yeah. And when you run your business, your real estate business like a business, it's better for your clients. You can help them understand that you understand the market more. You can help them understand the market more. It's just better for everybody. And you can make the money and live the dream that you're set out to do, right? So let's go to the final letter. So we did GR, now we're on O. O is opportunity cost. Talk to me.
Okay, opportunity cost. All right, so we're GRO, opportunity cost. So opportunity cost is the cost of the road not taken, right? Okay. So we normally think about business costs as like, oh, I had to buy business cards, and I had to buy a computer, and I had all the stuff that you have to buy to run your business, right? But there's another hidden cost that economists talk about, This opportunity cost. It's the cost of not doing something, right? So you didn't take this opportunity. What could you have made? We express that as an opportunity cost, right? So there's all kinds of ways to think about opportunity. There's all kinds of hidden costs in your business of roads not taken in real estate. But I'll tell you, there's one that I look at more than any other. I think is the hands down the most important opportunity cost in your business.
What is it?
It is the cost of not doing your lead gen.
Oh my God, you're speaking to my heart.
All right. So, and here's what I mean by that, guys. So
do your lead gen.
So if you're
end of discussion.
Yeah, but more importantly, so look, we follow something that we call, it's known as the 80-20 rule or Pareto's law, Pareto's principle. You're familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
Basically, Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule, if you're listening, it just means that 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes, right? So for example, every realtor's heard the statistic that 20% of the agents are responsible for over 80% of the transactions. By the way, it's true. Okay, it's absolutely true. In fact, this is just one of those. This is just one of those numbers that is like prevalent throughout the universe. Like it's just something that holds. Do some research on it. Look up, Google Pareto's law. 20% of the effects are responsible for 80% of the causes, sometimes even more. Right. So we all know that 20% of the agents are getting most of the business, right? And darn it, it just pisses us off. Where's my fair share, right? But here's the thing. You have to apply it internally in your own business. So the same rule, okay, means that 20% of the activities that you do on a daily basis are responsible for 80% of your income.
Wow.
Okay, no, so just think about it for just a second. That means
what are those activities? Yeah, it's not like
Yeah, so it means that 20% of what you do on a daily basis matters at all. 80% of what you do doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay. So we get, as realtors, and I've been guilty of this in the past too. I'm sure you have too, Jennifer.
Yeah.
We are sometimes guilty of focusing on the 80% that's worthless. Right. So these are things like,
it's easier though, and it's like you can check it off.
Yep. So it's like, posting on Facebook or, getting a headshot or redoing your business cards or tweaking your website and changing the colors and the fonts and, do people do caravans anymore? Is that like a totally ancient thing?
I think they're trying to bring it back, but it's not for me.
Okay. So, sales meetings, thinking about your business, planning your business, tweeting, whatever. Okay. Those are the activities, right, that don't actually bring you any income, right? And so what we've discovered after analyzing literally thousands of real estate businesses, everything from solo agent practices to teams to large brokerages of over 250 agents. So we've analyzed all of them. And what we found is that the 20% of activities that actually matter really can be boiled down into two simple activities. Do you know what they are? I know that you do.
I can guess. Lead generation and lead follow-up.
Yeah. So bringing new leads into your pipeline, right? So adding leads to your pipeline, right? And a lead, remember, let's define that very clearly. A lead is not just somebody that you hope will buy from you one day. No. It's a name and a phone number of somebody that we know is statistically going to be under contract in the next 105 days in your market, okay? So adding leads to your pipeline is number one. And then number two, following up by phone, right? So forget the, drop them into this email drip campaign that's just going to like email them to death, hoping that one day they're going to call you and
be like, it's going to like inspire them. You have such an inspiring newsletter.
Or the text drip or the chat bot or whatever automated thing that you've got going on so that you don't have to do the hard work of follow-up doesn't have to be hard. And in fact, I'm going to invite you guys, if you're listening, I wasn't planning on doing this, but we actually just launched the beta of a brand new free CRM. And we built it for ourselves first. I use it myself every single day for our local real estate business. It's called Hatcher, right? Basically, the idea is to help you hatch leads. So you can find it at heyhatcher.com.
Okay.
So HEY, HATCHER.com. Okay. And it's in beta right now. So it's being tested, but it's got a full auto dialer in it. to just take the call reluctance out. Do you ever get call reluctance, Jen?
Rarely.
You know what I'm talking about? When you're like, this next call, when I actually do call them up, I'm not going to be well received, or they're going to reject me, or they might even cuss me out or whatever, right? Or they might just click, hang up on me.
For sure, but now it's not as.
You know, I confess that I've been doing this for years, and I'm really freaking good at it. Like I consider myself a master of follow-up and converting leads into deals. I'm just really good at it. And I don't say that to brag, but it's just the honest to God truth. Okay.
It's great.
I still get call reluctance. And so if you're out there and you're like, I'm an extreme introvert, Chris, you don't understand. I'm right there with you. Okay. But so anyway, hey, Hatcher, one of the reasons, so I forced myself to do it anyway, but Hatcher is really cool. It's like revolutionized how I do follow-up, because I've got this lead, this list of unreached leads, and I just press go on my dialer. So I plug it into Twilio. So you're paying like less than a penny a minute or something like that. Okay.
Right.
I just plug it in, and my whole session, takes 30 minutes. So
nice.
We're talking about 30 cents to make all your calls for the day. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
the dialer's great.
So I just start the dialer, right? And I've got 18 leads that are waiting to be followed up. These are people that have reached out to me, that have visited my website or visited one of my lead capture tools to get more information on a specific property. And I've already got the notes on what property they're interested in. So I'm just calling them back, just doing customer service follow-up. Hey, did you get all your questions answered? And then I offer them some kind of bribe, some kind of value. And Hatcher has been freaking amazing. So opportunity costs. I don't want to totally lose sight of what we're talking about. You guys should check out Hatcher. You guys will be brand new beta users. I had no intention of inviting you guys, but you're welcome to it. It's 100% free, and it'll always be free. And I think you're going to love it. So opportunity costs. Every day that you don't do these two activities, add leads to your pipeline, is going to create a massive gap in your production, right? So everybody wants to always be in escrow, right? Isn't that like the dream? Like, let's always be in escrow, or my dream is always in multiple escrow, right?
Yes.
Okay. So everybody's dream is to be like this. Okay.
Yeah.
Is just to be steady. And most realtors instead, they're like this. So I actually like to call it the Slinky Effect, right?
It is like a Slinky. It's normally a roller coaster, but I think Slinky is more accurate.
So it's like a Slinky, and Slinky just has kind of derogatory connotation, right? So Slinky is like, most realtors spend, 1 month being completely balls to the wall busy. Am I allowed to say balls on the air? Okay. So completely balls to the wall busy. And then, they finally, by the grace of God, get all these deals to fall together, and they're completely worn out, completely spun out. They get all these deals to go together. They, deposit the commission checks, right?
And then they're like,
and they wake up the next morning unemployed.
Yeah.
And they start the process all over again because their lead generation isn't steady.
And at zero because they've already spent the check that just came in.
Exactly. So opportunity cost is every day that you don't do lead generation is going to cost you basically 1/30th of your target monthly income. So if your target monthly income is $10,000, divide $10,000 by 30, that is the opportunity cost of you not doing your lead generation.
That is really powerful.
All right. So I don't even know how to divide. What is that? $333?
That's what I was thinking. 300.
Yeah, 330. Never do math in public. I already told you that, right? Yeah, it's $333. I wasn't wrong. I just second guessed myself halfway through.
Right. No, it's $33.
No, $333. So if your target monthly income is $10,000 divided by 30 days.
Oh, by 30. Yeah, 333. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how much it cost you. That's the opportunity cost to not do your lead gen today.
And yeah, wow, ouch.
Right. So imagine that you were either writing a check. So every day that goes by where you're not actively working on adding new names and numbers to your pipeline. And by the way, you should have a specific target. I don't think that you should just go out and just do lead gen all day, as many as you can get, right? Sounds nice, but that's burnout.
To get your numbers, right?
So every agent out there, whether you like it or not, your business can be boiled down to a specific lead number. It is the target number of leads that you need to bring in on a monthly basis in order to hit your target monthly income, right? And so for most agents, it's somewhere between 30 leads and 80 leads. Most agents. Now, some are going to be a little higher than that. Some are going to be a little lower than that, all depending on your goals. But most agents are going to be somewhere between 30 and 80. Okay. And you need to hit that. So you need a series of marketing playbooks, right? And your playbook could be anything from like strapping on a sandwich board and going to the mall and says, hey, ask me how much your home is worth, right? That's a marketing playbook. Now, I don't think it's going to be a very good one. I don't think it's going to work
We
very
got to
well.
check it
Okay.
in the evaluator.
But that's a marketing play. And we develop very, very tactical, strategical, crunchy marketing playbooks that any agent, any market across North America, proven playbooks that you can go just follow the steps and it will get you more leads. And you mentioned Pipeline Pro Tools before. It's one of the reasons why we're so proud of it is that it is a complete marketing engine. And I'm not here to pitch anybody or sell anybody on it. That's not the point of this. That's not the point of this call. But you should know what your lead number is. So
exactly.
And that's what you get out of that first resource I mentioned on this call, the reverse engineer calculator. That's where you're going to get your lead number. It's going to tell you how many names and numbers do you need to add to your pipeline on a monthly basis in order to get your
So I would encourage people, if this year everybody's working on their business plan for 2023, you should be working on it now, right? So this coming up year, 2023, you are committed to taking action and running your business like a business. The first place to go is nerdcheats.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I do one more offer? Because I think this would be cool.
Sure.
Okay. So we offer a demo for Pipeline Pro Tools. And again, look, just like rest assured, guys, you're not getting sold. I don't want to sell you on Pipeline Pro Tools. Okay. But there is something valuable here. Okay. So we offer a demo on Pipeline Pro Tools. And the first thing, our demos are not sales pitches. They're just like a really
real demo.
Yeah, you did one, and it's like almost like a mini coaching session, because the first thing we do is we find your lead number. So if you're here and you're like, hey, this idea that Chris has of like boiling my business down to a lead number where I know how many leads I need to bring into my business every month, that sounds really cool. I'm intrigued by that. Right. What if you just had somebody that was an expert walk you through it? So we have 3 marketing coaches in the world. These are like legit marketing geniuses, guys that I work with one-on-one every day. They help me build the playbooks that we teach to thousands and thousands of agents every week. Okay. So you will get connected with one of them. They're donating their time. There's no obligation. You're not going to get a hardcore sales pitch, but you will get somebody to walk you through that reverse engineer process. So you're not doing it on your own. And so if you want to post a link, or maybe I can, I don't know, a link to, if you book a demo for Pipeline Pro Tools, not only can you see behind the scenes of our complete marketing engine and all the tools that go into it and all the playbooks, not only do you get behind the scenes, but you'll actually have somebody walk you through the lead number process, the reverse engineer process. And so that's just like a free offer. I think you guys will really enjoy it. And I've had people go through the demo, not buy it because it wasn't the right time or they didn't have any money, but then go execute.
Fine.
It doesn't
you like still do all the stuff that you teach.
That warms my heart. I love when somebody goes through the demo. They are not in a position where they can buy, but they'll take the playbook and they'll go execute it for free. And then like Ray Walmers, I actually just wrote an email about him this morning. I don't know if you saw it yet. Ray Walmers, Honolulu, Hawaii. He was exactly in that position. He did the demo, got his lead number, started working on it. Of course, it's harder when you don't have the tools to do it, but he did it because these playbooks work with or without Pro Tools. He did it. Within 2 weeks, he was under contract for a condo in Honolulu, and he made an $18,000 commission running a free playbook. So that could be you. Go get the demo. It's 100% free, and I swear you're not going to get a hardcore sales pitch or any pressure to buy anything. Yeah.
But it's pipelineprotools.com if they do /fight club. That'll work.
Yeah, awesome. That'll work.
Well, Chris, what is the best way to get into your world, get access to these tools is the nerdcheats.com. Yes.
Yeah. So any of the tools that we mentioned today, you're going to have to give up your email address we're sneaky that way, right? So you're going to have to give up your email address to get access to them, but you're going to love being on our list. I don't say that lightly. We make sure that 100% of our email content is freaking awesome because we want you to stay subscribed. And if you ever decide that you hate it, you can click on subscribe, but that's the best way to get in, like basically get into what we're doing is just join the email list, because that's how we talk to you.
Any final thoughts on running your business like a business?
Oh, I was going to say final thoughts, vote for Jen.
Vote for me. Yes. I forgot about that. Yeah. Vote for me if you're in Cincinnati. But what about the mindset of running your business like a business?
Yeah. Just accept you are CEO of your own business. Like it or not, this is not a hobby. If you want to make $100,000 this year, or $200,000 or $300,000, You need to focus on being somebody that's worth 100,000 or 200,000 or 300,000. And that sounds like an enormous task because you're like, oh God, I never made that much money before. How do I become worth $300,000 a year? Right? It's easier than you think, right? It's becoming a market expert. It's just working on giving value to your clients. It's simple things, but if you're feeling frazzled and you're feeling overwhelmed by all that, the best thing that you can do is every CEO runs their business with a dashboard, right? Yep. And so that's what the reverse engineer calculator is having a dashboard. That's what the marketing evaluators. You think that a CEO runs their business without having a marketing evaluator that tells them whether they have good ROI or not? No. Realtors are the only business owners that run their business without a dashboard that tells them how many leads they need, without a marketing evaluator that tells them whether their marketing is good or bad, right? Without knowing what their company split is, without knowing how much they get to keep out of it, right? So get familiar with your numbers. There's calculators that'll do it for you, and we have tutorials for all of it, and it's super easy. Even if you hate math, it's built for the total noob or
100% free.
Yep, and it's 100% free. So that's what I'd recommend.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being on, Chris. Is there any other contact information that you want to give, or how people can get in contact with you, or just?
Yeah, if you want to email me, it's chris@guerrillarealty.com. I answer my own email. Otherwise, you can hit us up at guerrillarealty.com. There's a contact page, and we'd love to hear from you guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, bye.